morning, guys.
Hey, what's up, fam?
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Peggy.
And I'm the Don.
And welcome to Gone with the Windleys. Most of you already know us.
Yeah.
But anyway, we experienced something the other day that we just want to share with you guys. Now, this was not our situation.
Yes.
I've been checking the news and I hadn't seen anything about it, but it was a really scary situation.
It's something that a lot of full-timers worry about and think about all the time.
Yeah.
And that's something that, you got to be diligent and make sure you try to prevent as best as possible. Mm-hmm. So I've been going around asking exactly what the situation was, but I'm going to let Peggy tell it because she was the one who alerted me to the situation.
Mm-hmm. I think it was late Friday.
Yes.
It was late Friday. Donald goes to sleep at like 9 o'clock and I'm up till the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah.
And it was really quiet at the RV park. Like you could hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it was. Like super quiet this night. And I heard a boom, but it wasn't like a normal boom. Like I felt like somebody closed the outside kitchen of our RV.
Yeah.
Like that's what it felt like and sounded like when you're slamming it down to get it down closed. And I woke Donald up. I was like, Donald, did you hear that? And he was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
He rolled back over. But then the second time I hear it, it's even louder. And at this point, it sounds like somebody threw something really heavy at our RV or kicked it really hard. And I was like, wow, what is that? And I was like, Donald, you didn't hear that? You didn't feel that? He was like, what are you talking about? I said, well, get up and check. Now, this is what I'm telling. I'm like, get up and check. Please get up and check. So he get up. He look out the side window here. He look out the side window there. He turns on the outside light. He doesn't see anything. Mm-hmm. So he lays back down. At this time, maybe 3 minutes have passed. And so I look out because I see all these lights. And I look out and I just see ambulance, fire, but they're not making the sounds that the fire department would make or the police would make. The sirens were off, and I just see all these lights, and I just keep seeing all these cars, and I was like, Donald, I told you something happened. I told you. I was like, now you need to put your clothes on and you need to go outside and see what happened. Like I'm telling him this, but not really knowing what's going on. And so while he's getting dressed, I'm nosy, so I lift the back window up. You see this big back window here? Mm-hmm. So I lift the window up and I just see fire and smoke and lights. That's all I could see is just a lot of fire. Like the fire is big and it's engulfed, whatever it is. Don't know what it is yet because I look out there and I'm like, that looks like an empty RV spot, but I really can't see because it's like, how many feet away from us would you say that is?
It's about 150 yards.
150 yards from us. Okay,
yeah.
I'm not good with that. But anyway, so it's 150 yards away from us. And I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see. But at this time, I'm excited. I'm like, Donald, hurry up. Go see what you can find. I'm like, go see what happened.
And that's when I got dressed and I started walking over there now. Easily you could tell something big was going on because a lot of people was outside in their pajamas and sleep clothes, like looking and everything. I'm getting a little bit worried the closer I get. And you see all the police lights and the ambulance, and then when I get closer, I see somebody sitting on the ground. I'm getting worried. Not until I turn around the corner do I see the flames coming out of the front or out of the back of this RV, out of the cab of this RV. Mm-hmm. We later learned that it was like a small Class C. There was some kind of explosion. Now, the people who were in that section of the RV, we were in a different section of the RV park, and Peggy still felt it. Mm-hmm. The people who were in that section said it felt like somebody came into the RV and just hit it with a truck. Mm-hmm. That's how big it was. And so I was like, as I got close, I was like, okay, well, nobody made it out of this. And I'm showing y'all the video here of the fire and the fire department trying to put it out and everything. And I'm just like, asking people around me, I'm like, there's no way anybody got it. And it was a very somber feeling. Mm-hmm. But then people started sharing that the people in the Class A saw the fire. I don't know how they saw the fire so late early in the morning or late at night. They saw the fire. It came knocking on their door and got them out. So I don't know whether they were already getting out or whatever else it was, but we later learned that everybody got out. We've been trying to find out what was the cause of it. When you're living out here in these RV streets and everything, and you are checking and making sure that you cover all your bases and you're doing everything correctly and safely. So everybody's primary concern, only thing they told me was it was probably propane related. And we have 2 very large propane tanks, so you always want to try to make sure you know exactly what's going on, what can you do, what should you be doing, and everything. But it was humongous and a very sombering situation.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, when I looked out, there was a coroner's van.
Yeah.
Coming down the street, and I told Donald, I was like, somebody didn't make it, or at least they suspected that somebody didn't make it. So I'm still looking out, but I can't see anything. By this time, Donald has come home, and we just assumed at that moment, before Donald found out the next day, we just assumed that somebody had passed.
Yeah.
Because the coroner's van came down, because you normally don't see that, right? And I was up all night. I'm like, I just can't believe this. And I was like, Donald, in the morning, you should get up and you should go down there and you should check just to make sure, because even though we were told somebody got out, the coroner's van kind of puzzled me a little bit. So Donald goes down there and he talks to the guy that was in the RV next to him, which was a Class A. So there was a Class A on his left.
On his left, he's facing the windshield on his left.
And the spot next to him was empty. So that was a blessing.
Yeah.
And when Donald went the next day, we're going to show you what it looked like the next morning.
Yeah, this is what the ground looked like.
Yeah. And I told Donald, I was like, let's just make sure that everything is okay. Because I'm like, I want to make sure that it wasn't caused by like electrical, so when he looked, you could see that it's still standing, the electrical is. But the guy, Donald did talk to the guy next door. And when he heard the first explosion, he told Donald he thought somebody bumped into his RV, which wasn't the case. And he saw that it was on fire. So he runs over and he's banging on the door like, get out.
Yeah.
Get out. So everybody's getting out. Now the guy, it was a guy, his wife, and they had a dog, I think.
Yeah, they had a dog.
Yeah, they had a dog. And so while he's, like grabbing clothes and stuff like that to get out, well, they had to take him to the hospital for smoke inhalation because he was trying to make sure his family got out and safe. But by the time that third pop came, they were all out and the RV was just fully engulfed in flames. So when Donald got there and he saw people sitting on the sidewalk, that was the guy trying to catch his breath, trying to make sure that he was okay.
Yeah. They ended up taking him to the hospital, though, like I said.
Yeah.
They ended up taking him in because then I guess maybe for precaution or whatever else. But we said they had a dog. Make sure we said the dog is also fine too. Everybody said fine. Everybody made it out carefully and stuff. And items can be replaced, but and so everybody said everybody got out safe and everybody things like that. But it's something that when you living out here, you see this and you're like, let's make sure we know where our fire extinguisher is. Make sure we know where our smoke detector is working. Sometimes the smoke detector go off while you're cleaning or you cooking or something. You want to like take the batteries out and stuff. We're not doing that or anything like that. We're gonna make sure we stay as safe as possible out here. And I feel blessed, and I know they feel blessed that they are completely safe. Well, that they got out and things can be replaced. Yeah.
It is just very scary because I'm like, okay, Donald, go check our propane tanks, make sure everything is good. And now I'm just hyper alert. I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that if something happens in the middle of the night, I could grab a robe or I could grab my pants or I could grab something and get out immediately. But me, I'm just being honest. If something happened to me, I'm not looking for pants or clothes or nothing else like that. I'm just running out. I mean, that's just what I would do to be safe because it was really scary to me, right? And 80% of the people in the RV park didn't know what happened because they have it sectioned in 4 sections. You got group 1, we're in group 2, then you have the tent camping section, and then you have the people in 4. So when I went outside, when Donald went down to check it out, all of our neighbors were inside, nobody came out. And I'm like, I can't sleep through a lot of noise, you know what I'm saying? And I heard the loud booms. I heard the first one was kind of soft, but the second and third one were pretty loud. And it was just it was scary and humbling, and it just makes you want to check your RV to make sure everything's okay. Now, when Donald went up to the office today to ask what was happening before we brought you this video, because we want to bring you what's real, I have checked all the news outlets and nobody's covered it. And I don't know why they didn't. I just feel like they should have covered it. But I guess if somebody had passed or something like that, they probably would have covered it. But I've been everywhere and I cannot find any coverage of this event. And I guess maybe other things are more important. I don't know. But I'm just saying I would want to know if I was here. And so people were finding out the next morning. And so when people were riding their bikes past, you know, they're like, oh, what happened? And then, you know, they go by and they see how the ground is burned under. Because I thought the RV would still be here the next day. But when we woke up in the morning, it was gone. Like they cleaned most of it up the next day. So nobody's in that spot right now. They're still trying to get the electrical and everything else back working. But it was just really scary, and it makes you think of, okay, what do I have in my RV that could be possibly explosive? And so we had a couple things that shouldn't have been inside. We had like the Schaefer lighter. What do you call that?
The fuel can, the Schaefer dish fuel cans.
Yeah, we had some of those in there, but from a Memorial Day celebration we were at, and then we had like fire starter bricks in here, and I'm like, this stuff shouldn't even be inside here. So I went through the entire RV. And I made sure that we didn't have anything. You know, you're going to have your aerosol cans and stuff like that. Like, you can't help that. But I don't want to help a fire if it comes. You know what I'm saying? So we've been cleaning it out and trying to make sure we're being safe. So we're just sharing this story with you. It's not our story to tell, but I just feel like people should know. And I don't know what happened. What kind of RV did you say it was?
So it was they either call it a large Class B or a small Class C. I believe it's a Class C because a Class B is like a van built out, and this one had like two sections, a big cab and an RV section with a little bit of overhang. So I'm calling it a small Class C. But many of y'all might remember we had a little propane scare when we was in Arizona that one time, and
that was in Vegas.
That was right. That was in Vegas that one time, and for those of y'all who have concerns about full-time living, we're going to take every precaution possible. But in our situation, when the propane had pressure, they had like a little wax cork that popped out, and that relieved the pressure, so there was no explosion or anything. But it's still a scary situation because you're living right there next to that source of fire and everything. And we've been, like Peggy said, we've been watching the news and checking into that stuff, and it's just something that we have to be very mindful of and be very careful of. And we just want to share that with you guys. So if you're out there in these RV streets, as Peggy like to say, or something, or you're considering or something, that's something for you to be thinking about. Making sure
be safe.
Just make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, just be safe, and we keep each other lifted in prayer. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
But anyway, fam, that's all we have for you today. We just felt compelled to share, and I hope you guys appreciate what we brought you today. And when we get an update, because when Donald was up at the office, they still have not come up with a cause of fire, because the guy next door thought it was the engine. But if you really look at the pictures or the video, you can see it's not the engine, it's behind the engine. And when it exploded, the whole back just kind of blew off. So it wasn't the engine. So I'm assuming it was the propane, but we're just not sure, so we don't want to just put it out there. But when we get an update, we will definitely let you guys know our update. Hopefully we'll get an update before we leave here. All right, fam? So thank you for joining us today. You guys have a blessed and happy Sunday.
And that being said, we just want to remind you guys to go out there and do something good for yourself.
And for others as well.
Y'all take it easy, fam.
Bye-bye.
Take me in your arms. Do just what you want. You're the one I trust.